it as an upset. That's all, and it's not that many great matchups. So,
What up, guys? We're live.
oh,
We're back. Welcome back. It's Archer Football College Edition. We're back. We're ready to talk some college football this week. I know we always said at the beginning that we wouldn't talk about our home teams, but this week we're going to have to. We've got Michelle with us. We've got Lisa with us. Their home team is what? The who?
The U.
The U. And we picked that last week. So
That
as our
was the
game to talk
game.
about this week. But anyways, hi guys. You. Michelle, Lisa, this is the part where you say, hi, we're great.
oh, how
No,
are
we
you?
good. I'm
I'm
good.
good. I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm good. It's good. It's ready to talk football. It's always good when you're coming in from a win, even though we don't have individual teams here. We're just talking, but I'm just saying.
It's a glorious.
Agreed.
It's a glorious week to be a Cane.
About to say, yeah, good old hurricane flew through Florida last week, huh?
I almost put on
Yeah.
my University of Florida shirt, but I couldn't find it, so I wanted to kind of put it on just to rub it in a little bit. But hey,
It got swept away. It got swept away in the hurricane. And here's Kristen. Hi, Kristen. Thanks for joining us as
Uh,
always. Yeah, my team won this week. And that
Barely.
was good.
Y'all struggled the first couple quarters. I was a little worried.
That was a game. That was a game. I will just say that we that team is really new. It's got a lot of not rebuilding, but just lots of new players, lots of new blood. So I think a lot of that is just going to be getting familiar with them. Texas is definitely going to be a test next week. So we'll see. I won't wear my Michigan gear because I wore my Michigan shirt at the game. How about you all? Are you superstitious? Do you guys have superstitions like that? Because
I
I'm
do.
superstitious.
I do.
You do?
Yeah,
What are your super?
if I start watching and they start losing or start sucking, I turn it off.
You have to turn it off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can't wear their gear. I can't wear Michigan stuff.
Mhm.
I try not to wear Michigan stuff during the year.
Yep.
Haven't gotten my nails done in a
Yeah.
few years because well I mean
And
and
I
I get
only
it. I know this isn't how
yep.
it works. But
But I only wear one shirt. I only have one shirt that I wear, and every single time I wear it, we win. So I'll keep wearing that shirt until we lose.
okay. Okay. Michelle, what about you?
I
Are
have
you
nothing. I
superstitious?
have nothing. I just watch. No superstitions. Um, you know, my name is Jinx. My last name is Jinx, so I'm already gonna jinx whatever it goes on. So other than that, I just watch.
I hear
I'm
you.
crazy. I
That's
can't.
good.
Yeah, yeah. I can't watch
I
the last. If it's close in the last 2 minutes, I
uh-huh.
can't watch. I have to walk outside and pace.
Yeah, I'm the person that's gonna watch it till the end,
Yeah, I
even
can't.
if
I
it's a
can't.
blowout. I mean, I have to evaluate. I want to talk about every little aspect. I want to be mad or upset or happy or whatever about every little aspect of the game. So
I
I
tape
can't
it.
help it.
I tape
I
it.
can't watch
Yeah.
it if I already saw it. Like if I
Well,
saw
I gotta do what you said. I gotta analyze the last couple of the plays. So and usually if they lose, I'm like, why would you run that stupid play? So it beats my thing. The one thing that was funny is I got a question at work, and
Mhm.
everybody notices this of my mood. My mood changes depending on how the Hurricanes play and the Dolphins play. It changes my
Really?
whole mood. I try to not let it, but if we'd have lost to Florida, I would not have been a good mood going to work the next day. I would just I would have been pissy.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, no,
Hmm.
I'm just super superstitious. Like I said, I haven't gotten my nails done in the past, oh, I don't know, 3 years. Lots of good things have happened to Michigan. So I won't be getting my nails done for a little bit longer. Okay? I'm sorry. That's just me. Okay. Anyways,
So let's
so
talk
the
about this
ladies,
Hurricane game. Let's talk
I
about
was
this
about to
Hurricane
say,
game.
ladies alluded to it. Let's talk about the Hurricanes. How did they do? What
Go
did
ahead,
you see?
Michelle. I'll let you go first. I'm a
well,
guest here.
I'm not one. I'm hard on my team, so I'm not one to get overly excited about
Yes, you are.
wins. You always have to prove something to me, but I liked a lot of what I saw with the Canes. We've been building talent, but we haven't seen that talent do what we're expecting to do on the field. This particular game, what I liked the most is one, we had balance. We were able to run the ball. We were able to pass the ball. And Cam, the quarterback, what I like the best about him is that he, outside of the sidearm throw, I mean, it was very funny to watch. He does it a lot, but he's able to move around in the pocket. He can run if he needs to, but he runs to buy time. So he moves to buy time, and that's what you want. Mm-hmm. Every time I thought that he was going to take off and run, he found an open man, which tells me he's always looking downfield. He's always ready. He knows where everybody is supposed to be, and he did that time and time again. And I just thought it was a great game. I think both ends, both sides, defensive and offensively, they played well. Still some things there, but for a first game, it was a great statement to go on the road and play an in-state rival and dominate that game. So great win for the Canes.
Lise, what about you? Tell me about the Canes.
I did the same thing. I came into it the same way Michelle did, to be honest with you. It's still an in-state game. I mean, when I looked at the talent on paper, Ward coming in, I was just excited to see that aspect of it, because you got to understand the night before I watched Tyler Van Dyke, the former Hurricanes, and they played Western Michigan, I believe they played the Broncos, and I watched him escape 4 possible interceptions. Okay, 4 passes should have been intercepted. But then at the end of the game, I watched them start to trash talk a little bit about how the Hurricanes might have made a mistake moving on. I watched that game. I said, you played Western Michigan, the Broncos, and this dude should have, and he did it with the Canes. There were several games where he should have had interceptions, because I never watched a guy regress so bad as I did him when he was down here in Miami. My problem with that, Michelle, was I was worried about coaching. I'm like, oh my God, to see that guy come out that one game and just be on accurate. I'm like, okay. And just to regress like he did. And yeah. I felt very confident that the Miami Hurricanes made the right call by letting him hit that portal. Because like I said, I think Michigan suits it. Wisconsin suits him. Clearly after that game, I mean, 26-35, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns, and just 1 interception.
Yeah.
And then the little kid, Restrepo, is that how, am I saying his name right? Restrepo, that little wide receiver.
It comes out as a drink for me, so I don't say
okay.
It. Represent.
Restrepo, I think his name was. Yeah. I mean, 7 receptions, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, this little kid's got hands. And Ward relies on him and stuff like that and just throws the ball. I thought it was kind of cute, the sidearm. I mean, it was just like you're kind of almost like Matthew Stafford-ish, watching him just fling it sideways, but it's accurate. The running game, Martinez, 15 carries, 65 yards. For me, that's a win for us, because of how we struggled the last couple of years with our offensive line. That was my main concern coming in, but they did really good. My came away from this game almost like Dan Mullins did, the ex Gators coach. You fired him, who was a winning coach that went to the postseason, for a coach that is under 500 as a coach. And I legit think Florida Gator fans have, I don't know if he's going to make it through the season. I really don't. I don't see him lasting the season if they drop another game. And they got Tennessee coming. I mean, it's going to be and then all the teams that entered the SEC now, that when you look at their quarterback with Mertz, I'm a little concerned for Gator fans right now.
Yeah, and the one thing, go ahead, Sonia. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, they gave up the most games or most points in an opening game ever. I am not thrilled, or I'm not enthused. I think that that's not a good sign. It's
I
not a
think
good
the
sign. I
one
was just about to look up their schedule. Go ahead.
I think the one positive for Florida, and it may be a little controversy going, is when they put the true freshman in DJ Lagway. He was able to drive the ball down the field, and granted, it was later in the game, but it was still our first team defense. And the team seemed to move a little better with him using his legs and him just being able to move around. He just made better decisions, and they just look better as a team. And I think that when you look at something like that, with the fans knowing how bad they were beaten, knowing the conference that they're in, knowing that they can't dig a deep hole, and knowing how bad just the starting quarterback, he just didn't look really good. He just didn't look comfortable. He never looked comfortable in the pocket. And then you get this true freshman comes in, and he comes in with confidence, and you can see that in him. And sometimes, as a team, you rally around that. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's a switch, or if he decides to just play them both and institute Lagway more into the offense.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, Now, don't be mad. Don't be mad.
Oh, jeez.
Do you think that the Gators, like, that this wasn't really a good litmus test for Miami? Like, I mean, the fact that they did so well, is it that they just played really good, or is it just that Florida really sucks that bad? What do you think?
Lisa?
I think Miami's just found the groove. I think they finally
Hmm.
found their quarterback that gels well. I think Mario's got a better handle on this season than he did last season. It almost like he had to go through his rookie lumps as a head coach. I think they got the talent that they had been looking for. So, and you always got to understand that when a coach comes into a program, those aren't those coaches' guys. Those aren't the coach.
Hmm.
Those aren't the guys the coach brought in. I think finally he's starting to bring the guys in that he wants. Like I said, I think Ward did a little bit better than they did. Florida, if I'm not mistaken, that was Florida's home opener has been 34 in a row. Miami snapped that, I believe, that they're winning the home opener. I'll have to look that up, but I think that the commentators were saying that. And it's hard to play in the swamp, and it even when the Gators are bad, it's hard to play in the swamp with that noise. But they just did an outstanding job. I personally think it's the coaching now. I think the coaching's back. I don't want to say the U's back because we always laugh at that. But Miami's still got they got a couple games under their belt that they're going to have some confidence in. I mean, I think they got the Rattlers. They take the Rattlers on this week, Florida A&M.
Yeah. Yep, they do.
So
So then, yeah, they have Florida A&M, then they have Ball State, and then they have South Florida,
yeah.
and
So
then Virginia Tech,
yeah.
and then Cal, and then Louisville. As of now, Louisville is their next ranked team that they play.
Okay.
So, I mean, they have a chance to do some damage, I think,
Yeah, I think they'll
So
make a
yeah,
little bit of noise and crawl up into the rankings for definitely sure down.
well, for sure.
I think Florida State has another train wreck. I think I don't know whether Florida State is just that bad because this quarterback, when you look at his numbers they were so high. He's a 5-star recruit. They had such high hopes for him. I don't know if it's just the travel, if Georgia Tech just deflated them and then the travels got to them. I've just never seen a quarterback miss open receivers that bad, Michelle. I mean, these guys were wide open in the ball. I don't even know where the ball was going half the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Florida State's really got me propelled.
Yeah, he looked really bad. And you're right, he's a 5-star. And go figure that Cam Ward didn't receive any stars. So, something that just it goes to show you sometimes you just got to let him play. But yeah, I don't know. I know that what I do know is Norvell won't get out of Tallahassee if they are 0-2. And not 2 games that anyone expected them to lose. And so you're talking about a team that's suing their conference to leave. Rumor has it that they want to join the SEC. This is not a great audition for them. And
No.
so they're going to need to turn some things around quickly. And I know they don't want to let him go because they've let the last 2 or 3 quarterback coaches go pretty quickly. So I know that they're trying to stick with them. But who does Florida State have next? Because
Memphis.
They need a vanilla team. They've
Yeah,
got to get a vanilla team. But this is a team that was in national championship talks.
correct.
All preseason. All this was their year. This was their national championship run. And now they have less than a 1% chance of being in the 12.
And not just in the conversation, but feeling that they were left out and feeling that they were mistreated.
Right.
Remember all of them sat out and didn't play in the bowl game,
Mhm.
and they got squashed. And they could possibly be 0-3 as they play California. That's their next game, but I believe they may have a bye week or so. They may have a couple of weeks off before they
They
play.
might need it. They might need
Well,
it.
they play Memphis. They play Memphis,
Yeah,
right?
they play Memphis
Yeah.
next week, and
And
then
then,
after that, then they play Cal.
and then Cal, yep.
Yep.
And
then
granted, they lost a lot of players to the portal, and I think they said they lost like 31 players altogether.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they took a hit with the portal. They really did. They took a hit. And so that portal, and there's a lot of talk about the mystique of college football now, that the players, now that they're getting paid, it's all about the money. They're hitting the portals where they want to go and get the money. And it is. It's going to be hard finding those old-time rival games where the kids stay. So I kind of agreed with kind of that talk, because they had a record-setting portal last year of players moving.
And that's going to be the norm in college football. And so teams are going to have to make those adjustments, because the portal is your recruiting agency now. You either get in there and get players, and I know there are a few coaches that are reluctant to do that, but you either get in there and get them, or you lose what you have and you don't replace them. So.
Agreed. Now let's stick with the SEC, or not the SEC. Let's stick with the ACC. Let's talk about our friends in South Carolina, those Clemson Tigers.
Oof.
Yeah, that was another one. They kind of got it handed to them this weekend in Georgia, and that was a pretty interesting game. I thought it was going to be more of a competition than that. I really did, but yeah, Georgia just kind of smoked them, and it has me wondering if this is Dabo's last year in Clemson. I think it could be, but that's just me. What do you guys think?
Well, the game started out pretty close in the first half. I mean, they were playing a good defensive game. I thought in the first half, both teams going back and forth. I think it was like 6-6 or something like that at halftime, or 3-3. Well, it was a back and forth game. But once the second half came, Georgia became Georgia, and and that was the end. And that's pretty much what I think Clemson is doing what everybody is expecting right now. They're still on a downward spiral. And so, someone said the other day they haven't done anything since Sunshine left. And, it's been that time. Sometimes some teams have that time, that little time frame where they're the best, and it's hard to sustain that. And right now, Clemson is going down, and I don't know if they're going to be able to come back up again. Dabo is one of those coaches who are reluctant to recruit in the portal, and so once he loses his players, he's not getting these players that are coming in. He prefers to recruit his players from out of high school and things like that. So, and we'll see how long that lasts if they keep losing.
And it's funny when you have a team that makes multiple runs at a national championship and stays in the top 10 for 3 or 4 years, you're going to expect to lose a lot of those players to the NFL and stuff like that, like Clemson has done. And like you said, he's reluctant for the portal. He wants to recruit his own guys, and you can't blame him. I mean, Dabo's old school. He wants that quarterback like Sunshine. Here's my thing with Dabo. I think you're going to have to go with the portal and the way the NCAA is going. Like Michelle had just said, you're going to have depth. You're going to have to bring in people that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to keep your program going. A good example of a program that's doing that right now, that it has, to me, has the ace in the hole, is Texas, because you've got yours right there that is outstanding quarterback. You got Arch Manning, is proving just to be as good as his uncle. So, and the way they're doing those two, that Texas is going to make some noise for a while here with these two quarterbacks. And to me, that's what you're going to have to start doing. You're going to have to start, if you have a star quarterback and you're up by 30, 40 points, you're going to get your backup in,
Mm-hmm. Of course.
groom along, because this is going to be, because you don't know if you got a 5-star recruit backup quarterback and you're just not ready to play them yet. Who says at the end of the season, Michelle, another strong team comes and says, we want you, you'll start, we'll guarantee you, and then you'll make some extra dough because we're, top 5 team. He's going to hit the portal and then you're done. Then you're starting again because you've already lost your quarterback, obviously, if he's even going to the NFL or is a senior and is done. So it's the landscape of this whole thing is going to change. And I think you're going to have to start trying to do that. You're going to start trying to keep your guys at home. So you're going to have to start trying to play backup players to keep the train rolling, because these guys are moving so fast. I mean, you're taking teams that weren't even the top 25 in 1 year could gain 20 people from the portal. Next thing you know, you got a top 10 team.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Parity. I like it.
Yeah, and,
like it
so you can kind of look at it the way, if for college basketball. In college basketball, the players play 1 year and then they can go to the NBA and leave. And so you see these teams leaving, you see they recruit these top players and these players stay for 1 year, they leave, and they have to keep doing this over and over again. And now you see in the NCAA tournament, when you're watching the tournament and everybody's wondering, wow, these smaller schools are upsetting these teams a lot more. And they're upsetting them a lot more because those kids are playing together for 4 years, and the other teams are getting new players every single year because their top freshmen are leaving after that freshman season. And so the portal is kind of that way in basketball. It's going to be like that in basketball, but for football, you couldn't leave so quickly. But now you can switch teams, and you can switch teams, every year if you want. You can just jump in the portal. You can decide after 3 games, I'm getting in the portal, I'm leaving. And so it makes it difficult. But it's what every team is going through. So no one is really at it. You can't say anyone's at a disadvantage because it's happening to all the teams. Everybody is having to deal with it.
Literally, that's exactly what I was thinking, that, it's bringing more parity. But yeah, it's just something new. It's what college football is becoming. And the fact that they don't have to sit out a year after they transfer. So yeah, it just makes it that much easier. Kristen has a very good question. Did any of the rankings surprisingly change after week 1? I don't think anybody surprised. I don't think there was a big surprise. What do you think?
Because Florida State, if I'm correct, Florida State is still in the top 25. Or am I mistaken?
To me, they should have fell out.
Right.
So they are out.
Pull it up. To me, they should have pulled out.
I'm looking at it now.
But
they're out.
Where we at?
They're out.
I figured they fell out after BC. Yeah, because like I said, when you look at it, you're going to be like with college. So how many of these college football coaches are just going to just slam the portal for a big run for 1 year? Let's just put it all in. Let's get all these star players and make one big run for the national championship. Especially now you have a 12-game playoff. What do you have to lose? You might as well try to get all the players you can for that initial big run to see if you can keep going. So it's crazy.
I don't see why not. I mean,
with Kristen's question, and you look at the rankings, that first set of rankings is like really difficult when you do the rankings for the first week and no one has played. when we're talking about the portal and all of the changes and everything that teams are making, it's really difficult to do the first week to actually seed these teams.
Right.
So you need a game or two before you can really decide who should move where, who's gonna move. We only had what, about 3 or 4 teams that really played anybody, competition wise. We saw so many games that were 60 and 70, people scoring 70 points, 60. I mean, it was a wild week in college football. And so as far as the top 25, it wasn't, besides
The,
Florida State losing, or
right. And going out.
yeah, it's not good.
Miami made the biggest jump. They went from 25 to 12.
Yeah. And I think
Which
I think that's a huge jump.
that's a
Now, when they
huge
were
jump for
19
one game.
they were in 19 and something, but I think they took into account the things that you said earlier. They were at Florida in the swamp, and it's an interstate rivalry. So when you look at all of those things and the way they dominated the game, it's a good, and it's an SEC opponent. They're not ranked,
Yep.
they're still in the SEC. So, they setting them up for failure, but they moved them up. Basically, I think they set them up. I don't know if they should have jumped that many points, but
The thing with me is when I look at the rankings now from all the teams that I watched and the games that they played, first is Georgia, which, okay, we got Georgia. I personally think Texas is better than Ohio State. I think Texas is number 2. They put Alabama at 4 just because I call that the Alabama factor. The team that I don't think is a top 10 team, and this is crazy, is Notre Dame. They got Notre Dame at 5. Notre Dame struggled. They struggled. And I don't see them being a top 10 team. I think they're going to get derailed. I had them losing like 4 or 5 right almost before they get Florida State. But Florida State now has, they could easily go into Tallahassee do they come into one of those? So that could be an upset. But I just think a number 5 ranking for Notre Dame is way overrated. I don't.
So Florida State comes to them in November. So that'll be an interesting game. That'll be a fun game to watch. Perhaps. But yeah,
but you got to look. Notre Dame faced here we go. A SEC team in Texas A&M on the road, playing in College Station, which is another tough place. Are they the original 12-man?
They are
team,
I think
right?
They are.
So they're on the road, tough game. They're not in a conference, so they're independent.
Right.
But, they're taking on an SEC team in their first week, so it was a good win. It was probably a tougher win than expected, but I'm with you. I don't know if they're a top 5 team or what, but they're going to give Notre Dame the benefit of the doubt. They're going to have to lose that ranking. So,
which just hit on, which you just had said perfectly. This is only week 1 here. So it's like right now we're still got a lot of shuffling we're going to do. So some of these teams are ranked just where they were just because of last year and because of, some of the things. Because Clemson just fell to 25. Because like you said, you got to take into play who they played and where and stuff like that. To where, I don't even know if Clemson's a 25 team right now.
They're not, but they don't want to kick Clemson out. Sometimes, it's just like they don't. It's like when Alabama loses 2 and still make it to the national championship game, but anybody else who does that can't do it. It's because that's who they are, and they want them to be there and so forth. And then Alabama make them look good because then they'll go in there and win. But it happens, and so they don't really want to kick Clemson out. They're giving them the benefit of the doubt and the opportunity to win their way back up, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think eventually they're going to fall after probably the next week.
Yeah, I agree.
Next week they got Appalachian State. I think that's one of the games that we want to have. We're going to vote on, right?
Yes. Michelle's picking that as an upset.
It's going to be an upset.
She's got
words. Appalachian State will upset Clemson.
Okay. I don't see Dabo dropping to them. I don't. I still think Dabo's one of the premier college football coaches, and I think Dabo's going to squeak a win out. So I don't have it. I don't see Appalachian beating the Tigers. I just don't. I can't see it. I can't see it. I just can't.
They have been known to pull an upset.
I talked last week about South Dakota State playing.
You did.
Oklahoma State, and they
I
were
was in
playing
the
them
chat.
tough. They
I
were
was in the
playing them
chat.
tough. Weren't they playing them tough? I was like, they were playing them tough. I'm like, they're
Okay.
gonna play them tough. This is a
That's how
two-time
you-
champion in the FCS. They're gonna play them tough.
All right. Well, it'd be interesting. I just don't see Dabo dropping to him. I just don't. I don't.
You
Well,
never know.
I gotta go there, and somebody's getting upset.
Somebody's getting upset.
That looked like the perfect team because Appalachian State has a history. They do these things, and
Yes,
I'm
they
not
do.
too sure about Clemson, so we're gonna see.
Yeah.
So, yep. So that'll be one of our games, Appalachian State and Clemson. Another game that we decided. So basically, what we're doing is we're going to put out a poll on Twitter for you all. You guys are going to help us pick the game that we're going to talk about next week. So, first one we're choosing is Appalachian State and Clemson because Michelle has big upset energy on this one. It could happen. It very well could happen. The other game that we picked that I think might be a good one, Colorado, Nebraska. I think that will be fun to watch. Basically, number one, it's a rematch from last year's game where head coach Matt Rule's talking, and that motivated the whole Colorado movement and Dion, and it's personal. And so this is coming back, a rematch. And then, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Going to be a lot of fun. So that'll be a good one to watch. And then what was the other one we picked? We picked like two more.
Which one was it? We had
Texas and Michigan, Colorado.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Tennessee and North Carolina State in Charlotte.
Yes.
And Appalachian State in Clemson.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So guys, vote. Let us know what game you want us to watch, and we'll talk about next week.
We'll talk about next week. Texas and Michigan, Tennessee and North Carolina State. I'm going to go with Tennessee and North Carolina State because that's just that's the one. Let's go with that.
I don't know. I'm intrigued with Dion. I like that Colorado Nebraska game. I think it's going to be a toss up with that. And then, like I said, Appalachian, they got a lot of followers. So I mean, people might want us to talk about that one. So it's going to be interesting.
Well,
so
guess
it's going to be up to them.
If what I think is going to happen, we'll talk about it anyway. So if they upset Clemson, it'll be discussed.
It very will be
discussed. Not by me.
What was I going to say? But Lisa, you watched you watched Colorado play last week, and I saw that you were loving Shedeur Sanders.
Let me tell you, he better be in the Heisman talk. Better be in the Heisman talk.
I've watched Shedeur play his entire college season, and he is one of the top quarterbacks in college football. And he was when he was at Jackson State, and he just brought the same thing he was doing there. They said he wasn't going to do it on this level, and he's doing the exact same thing he was doing there.
I don't know what the issue is with some of these analysts, but I just lose so much respect when they don't even bring his name up in the Heisman. You hear other quarterback. No, this guy needs to be the talk of the Heisman right now.
Because they take things personal, some of them. I just want to acknowledge that Kristen did say for us to put the poll up on YouTube because she doesn't have Twitter.
Okay. That's not a bad idea.
Make sure that we put the poll up on YouTube.
Can we do that?
For sure.
We can do that, right?
We can figure it out.
We should put it on all of our social.
Put them on all of your and shout out to Cortland Cortland, this is a college show, and I see you have your fantasy up here. He wants us to grade his fantasy. He has Lamar Jackson starting at quarterback with Derrick Henry.
He's won already. Listen, Cortland, you don't need to let these girls talk anymore. You're good.
I'm looking at it. He's like Higgs, D. Moore, Kittle. Man, listen, you're doing well. You're doing well.
Dude, that's a championship team right there.
That's a pretty good team, Cortland. I give you a B plus though. I'm gonna say
don't listen to them. A plus, buddy.
A minus only because the Chiefs defense. I don't know if they're that good.
A plus, buddy. You got Lamar. I'm giving you Lamar.
You got this. Barring injury, you should win your league. There you go.
No, you're gonna be the champion of your league, Cortland.
That's what I said. Barring injury,
like me, Cortland, like me, I'm going to be the champion of my league too. Just
champion of last place, but she's good. She's got that. She's got that covered.
Oh wait, I took her quarterback. Anyways,
she did.
You took that
right before I was going to take him.
Never mind.
Lisa, right before I was going to take him, she took him. Like
Yeah.
she grabbed them. I had to read. I had to think. So I
She
got your
saved you.
quarterback.
She saved you. You're good.
I got
Yeah.
your Dak. Well,
You
look,
got
Dak,
Tua.
I did get
You
to it.
got Tua.
Dak helped me win last year. So
All right. Listen,
All
you know
right.
me. I'll be your biggest fan then if he does good.
Oh my
you got
gosh.
to.
Well, thank you guys for joining us this week. We're going to put up our poll. The
Polls, please
Texas
vote and retweet,
polls.
guys.
Vote,
And yes,
retweet, like, subscribe, all the things. Comment. We are so excited. We are so glad to be here. So glad to be doing this. Michelle, thank you. Lisa, thank you.
yes.
We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat
Same
place.
bat channel.
And
Same
make
bat
sure you guys
channel.
watch the games with me. I'll be live tweeting. I'm usually watching
Oh, yeah.
about 3 or 4 of them at a time.
If you follow Michelle, she definitely will be live tweeting because that's just what she does. You have insomnia, she's up live tweeting a game. So always go to
We gotta watch
Michelle
it
for
as a
that.
family.
That's right. We do. We totally do.
We are family.
That's right.
We're all sisters with me. Anyways. All right, y'all. See you next week. Bye.